So this is going to be that business 101 that we tried out last week. You guys really liked it. There was a lot of feedback. You know, can't wait to see the next episode. So here it goes. I'm going to keep going on the Hummer rental one just because it's the most fun one. So I put the name up there. We actually did come up with a name. So this is a real life situation where we were messing around with it, and that's why it's fun to kind of go through. Because if somebody wants to steal my idea, go ahead, prove it out for me, and if it works, then I'll copy. If it doesn't work, I'll be like, ha, you stole my stupid idea. So 4Play Rentals, renting out Hummers. If you don't know what I'm about to talk about, you need to go back and watch session 1, because session 2 is going to pile on top of that. So I'll take you back to where we kind of left off. What I do is I clean this up so it's a lot easier to understand, but you won't know how to get these numbers without watching session 1. So I want to make $30,000 a year. One of the top rules is you need to figure out how much money you're trying to make if you're going to start a business, because that's all that matters at the end of the day is how much are you trying to make, because that's how you can prove out if this is real or possible. Then what I did is I said the total operating cost plus a new vehicle cost, because obviously you're going to have to replace vehicles, so you're going to want to put some money aside, or this would be the vehicle payment. I figured about $1,000 a month. So you'll add those two together, so that's $12,000 a year and $30,000 a year to get to the fact that you need to come up with $42,000 a year on this business in order to figure out that you're going to make 30 grand plus have 12 grand to reinvest or to cover your business costs. So now this is assuming you're bringing the vehicles somewhere, so you have no cost for that. You're going to take care of washing them for a couple of dollars. You're going to use a home office, use some online booking, something like that. And then that's how you're going to get to keep your costs down to almost nothing, that $1,000 a month. Basically, this is a run out of your house business. So, and then insurance and all of that would be included in there. And then you'll rent it out for the day for $200 a day, which is a pretty aggressive number. And then your per rent cost, this is paying to have to go wash the thing, stuff like that. Little incidentals, vacuuming and out, blah, blah, blah. We would say about $20 a day or $20 per rent. And that's how you get that number. And then you can say your profit, your gross profit is $180 every time you rent it out. So what I did, is I took that 42,000, the 30 plus the 12, and I divided it by 180. So I want to make 42,000 a year divided by $180 per rent means it needs to rent out 233 days per year. So that gives you how many days per year it has to rent out. I divide that up by 52 weeks, it's 5 days per week. I take that into a month and it's 20 days per month. So now I know that I'm gonna rent that thing out for 20 days per month. So if I wanna take my very first metric, which would obviously be sales, I would do a rolling 30 days. What that means is today, 31 days ago falls off. Tomorrow, 31 days ago from tomorrow falls off. So you're constantly keeping 30 days worth of data to come up with your number. So the sales rolling at 30 days, you would literally take every 30 days, I want to rent it out 20 times. And if it's renting for 200 a day, I know that my sales are 200 times 20 should be 4 grand. I'm going to use a calculator, so I don't have a calculator cop do my math for me and tell me I'm all jacked up. So my sales target is $4,000 a month for 30 days rolling. So this would be your target. And then you want to use your green or red to do your actual. So as you get rocking and rolling, you would want to take your 30-day sales. Let's say you only rented it out 6 times in your first 30 days, 6 times 200, you would be at 1,200. And because you're not meeting target, you would want that 1,200 to be red because you're not hitting target. And that's basically the structure of how you want to lay that out. What I typically will do then also is I will start setting up my goal. So this is what I have to hit. I may set a goal of $5,000 a month for August. So I want to keep that number in front of me because that's where I'm headed. This is where I am, this is where I wish I was, and I'm going to work really hard to be, this is where I want to be when I grow up. So that you basically have a stretch goal, something out in front of you to look forward to. So those would be your sales targets. And we talked about that one last time. And then you would want to take that sales target and you want to ask, what is the easiest leading indicator into this? So you're starting to ask yourself, what would be the precursor to getting sales? And one of the things that they have on Turo, let's pretend you're gonna use Turo.com. So let's note that, Turo.com, and that's how you're gonna rent it out. So you'd have to ask like $250 so that when you get your money, it's the $200. Let's say you go out there, and I think one of the things they offer is how many times somebody has viewed your vehicle. So views would be something you could start looking at. And again, you can look at rolling 30 so that you can compare to the two. Hey, you wanna shut that door, guy?
Yeah, sorry.
So views, rolling 30 days, you would start looking at, first I think you would have to set a target because you'll have no clue. How many views does it take to get your 20 rentals per month? If this was me, I would say it's gonna take at least 5 views to get a single person to rent it at an absolute minimum. So I'll set my first target at 100 views per month. And then I would start measuring my actual. So if I'm only hitting 1,200, and let's say that I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm crushing it, I got 200 views, but I only have 1,200 rentals, I have my new math. I know that that's not the right number at all. So if 200 views equals only $1,200 in rental, I now know that 6 people rented out of 200. I have a 0.03 or 3% close rate. So of 200, only 6, because $1,200 is only 6 rentals. So now I know that it's 3%. So I can now take my 4,000, let's see, 4,000 was 20 rentals I need. So I would take my 0.03 divided by 20 rentals, 20 rentals divided by 0.03, 667. So now I know that my target really, at that 3% rate that I saw actually happen, and this is where you're constantly changing these numbers. You gotta stay on top of them and understand the math between them. If you're not keeping up with me, don't start your own business. And I'm gonna keep saying that because if you guys can't understand this, you don't belong starting a business. Get a paper out and learn these numbers and learn financials and learn the easy stuff before you go and start buying $40,000 Hummers and trying to rent them out. So what I just found out is that I actually need 667 views in order to get my 4,000 mark, because I found out that this is 3%. 3% of the people that view have been renting my vehicles. And I would want to check in on that and see if that's true over time. But what that would do is say that's my target. And now if my actual was coming in at 200 instead of being green, that would also be red. And that's what's causing that number to be red. You don't have enough people viewing it. So now what you want to ask yourself is what creates my views? Do you see how I'm reverse engineering this? I'm literally taking what do I want to make? What is it going to cost to make that money? I add that together. That's my cost to run plus my money I want to put in my pocket. I figure out what my sales are. And now I figure out how do I drive my sales, or what is my leading indicator sales? That would be my views on Turo. And I want to usually be specific, Turo views. One of my rules here is I always try to get a verb and then maybe one noun. If your metrics are a sentence, you're getting carried away. Should be a verb and a noun. So Turo views drives that. Now I have to ask myself, so how do I increase my views? I'm gonna start a Facebook page because that's easiest. Facebook page likes. So if I'm starting a Facebook page, now I'll start asking myself, how many likes do I think I need to have? How big of an audience do I think I need to have to drive up this number? Because I'm trying to drive 200 to 667. And I'll set a goal for myself on that one and say, I feel like I need to get to at least 5,000 likes in order to get there. So now if my actual is that I just started it and I only have 400, I know what my action item is. I need to get more people to like my Facebook page. Because the whole point of doing this is you have to create it into action. So maybe I go out and spend some money, promote my page. If you're lazy, that's what you'll do. If you're a hustler, you'll go out and get every one of your friends to share your badass Facebook page. You'll do a lot better job of posting. You'll make some sick ass live videos, some sick ass videos of what it feels like to rent a Hummer, and you'll get people to come out and follow your page because it just looks like a lot of fun. Pretty soon you'll have people that don't even need a Hummer renting the Hummer because you've created a lifestyle. You've taught them how badass it is. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, good luck, but that's how it works, is putting in hard work and hustling and getting people to, you know, get behind what you're doing. So I would do my Facebook page likes. So now I have, how am I gonna get an audience to come out and see my vehicle so that 3% of them rent my vehicle so that I can ultimately make my money? I would consider this as complete for my financial. Now what you wanna do is you wanna get the balanced approach. So now you need to have a quality metric, a cost metric, and a delivery. And ideally a safety metric. I do a lot of online stuff, so safety is a little tricky because it's not as direct, but. So now you want to ask yourself, if this is the business that I'm running and I'm renting out vehicles, what is quality? The easiest no-brainer for this is always going to be, and it's delivery/service. I always, when you have a people business, the quality is going to be your customer review. Because if you're providing a quality vehicle, a quality experience, you're going to get a good customer review. And you can use however you want to measure that. I'm not going to tell you how to measure that. My goal is to show you about this balanced approach. So now you have cost. Let's say that up here, remember we had a per rent cost of $20 per day, and we had a monthly cost of $1,000 a month to run this business. You could pick either one of those. If this makes you nervous that you're not going to stick to it, you may do for cost, you might do rolling 30 days, so constantly watching, or you could do daily spend. So if you have costs every single day, in this example you wouldn't, so I would use the rolling 30. Rolling 30, and that would be your cost to run. So track your oil changes, track your tire rotations, track your everything that goes into that $1,000 a month, your monthly payment for your vehicle. And you would track all that, and this one's easy. You're gonna see that I stick to these colors. It's really important because it makes it really quick and visual to see. So customer review, let's say that you go for 10.0, you wanna be perfect. I think that's a terrible idea. You wanna be sort of perfect, you go for an 8.9. And then down here for cost, you already know it's $1,000 a month because you said that's how you're gonna run your business. So your target would be $1,000 a month. When you add everything up every 30 days, you should never go above 1,000. If you go above 1,000, turn it red, and you need to figure out how to slow your burn rate so that you're not running out of money. Delivery and service. So again, I'm in the vehicle industry, I'm renting out Hummers. I just would wanna brainstorm with friends, family, the dog, get somebody else involved and think about what would delivery or service be beyond just getting customer service reviews. This one's easy because in this industry, you literally deliver the vehicle. So you could be giving yourself a delivery metric of on time. Because you have to deliver the vehicle. How many times do you have the vehicle on time? So this one you may say, I'm gonna do a percentage. And I have to be 100% on time. And what that means is literally on the date that they rented it, December 5th, you're there at 8 a.m., show up 5 minutes early, go through the checklist with them, and be ready to deliver the vehicle so that they can have it for the day. It may mean that somebody says, I want it for the 3rd, and then somebody else comes along and says, I'll rent it for the whole week, and you tell that person, sorry, you only want it for a day, I'm gonna bump you out, you can have it the following week. That's not on time. So you could use this as a dual metric to say, yes, we showed up on time, and we also got it to them on the day that they asked for it. And that would be a good on-time metric. And then that one you can run as a percentage and then track yourself over time. Safety, because you're in the vehicle rental business, I would do a very easy, straightforward safety metric that would not only support your vehicle staying safe, but also your customer staying safe. And for that one, I would probably do something like a safety checklist. Safety checklist. And that would literally, again, be what percent of the time are you bringing and having the customer sign and taking them through a safety overview about the vehicle. These Hummers have a lot of buttons. If you don't show them the button that keeps them from putting it in 4 low and going 80 miles an hour down the highway, they're gonna wreck your vehicle and potentially put themselves at danger. If you don't explain to them that this vehicle is not really made for off-road, it just looks like it is, you're gonna save them from rolling that thing over, doing something stupid because they think they should go rock climbing because it looks like it should climb rocks. So your safety checklist would literally walk them through that, and then you could just measure how often are you having them complete that checklist with you so that they're ready to operate the vehicle safely. So what you've done now is you've taken things that will protect you and your customers, you've taken things that will provide phenomenal service, you're measuring that customer service, you're operating under your costs, which you originally worked into your formula, so you're monitoring that you won't overspend, which will protect your profits, which will make it so that you can bring in your viewers via your Facebook page. You now have a balanced approach. You can run your whole business like this. And what you'll do, let's say you're clipping along, you're always doing the checklist, but you have people that keep wrecking this, or they keep, let's say your costs keep going up because you have to spend money on repairs. Then you should be looking at, is there a tool I can use, add in to the safety checklist that will help my repairs? So you keep looking at this stuff of how can I protect myself or protect my other metrics by working the metrics together and having a balanced approach. So what should you do with this? You should take this and you should look at it every single day. You should write the date right here. What's the date, 4/11? Yep. 5-11. You should update this every single day. Your greens mean you're hitting targets. So let's say your costs are $850, those would be green. You're 100% on both of these. There's no reason you shouldn't be. If you fail at these types of things, good luck, because you're gonna get in trouble. Maybe your on time gets in trouble once in a great while and you run that at like 97%, and then you're trying to come up with, you know, another way to improve that. But what you wanna do, and let's say you're a 9.2 on customer service, you wanna be able to look at this and see what's red, because that's what you need to react to. And then you need to put a plan together to make those green. That would be the gist of it for session 2. That's what will give you a balanced scorecard, and then you run your whole business off of this. If you start this and you find that you can't get this updated every day, you suck. I mean, you really do. You have to update it. I update mine, which I'm not gonna show you my numbers and my details, but every single day. We're 3 years into this, I update it every single day, and there's no excuse not to. I meet with the team once a week for about 15 minutes standing meeting, and we go through every single metric. Even though we know we're crushing all of them, we talk about them and we stop on any one that might be red or might be green, but it's starting to soften a little bit, and we have a discussion about it, because that's what runs the business. And that's what you guys are gonna wanna do, is make this your lifeline for running your business. So if it's just you, update this thing just for you then. And then that will help you find out where to improve and where to work. So now that you know what you want to make, you've proven that it's a viable business, you now have metrics to run by. Session 3, when we bring it back at you next time, is something that I'm gonna steal the word so that you guys can go Google it if you're paying that close of attention, and then you can be prepared for it. But I can tell you that I cheat and I don't do it exactly the way you're supposed to, because I only believe in a good chunk of it. I don't believe in every last detail. So it's called Hoshin-Kanri Strategic Planning. And that will be, how do you put together a strategy that allows you to implement these, allows you to know what to implement and get your team rallied around you, so that then you can hit these targets and ultimately achieve this goal line. Because remember, we want to fill this in of who do you want to be when you grow up. This plan is how you're going to accomplish that. And as these move over here, this plan 1 through 5 is going to be how you're going to get that done. So I will dip into this next time, and we can keep going on this, and I'll show you some ideas of how I would come up with what I'm going to do, and then how I would execute that. So Until next time, let us know in the comments what you think. I'm hoping this stuff helps. I've gotten pictures of people's boards already, of friends of mine that I've shared what I've been doing, and I've given them, you know, details about it. This is the first time I'm sharing it with the group as a whole, all of you. Would love, 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 love to see pictures of your boards. We will absolutely keep it, you know, proprietary to you. We're not going to share it with anybody else. We would never repost if you send us in a message. But if you're super proud of your board and you just want to post it up in the comments, do that too. But please, that is our fuel to keep doing this, is hearing your stories and letting us know if this is helping you at all, and especially show us the proof, because that's what's going to keep us going with sharing. So, till next time, peace.